This is Decon Q&A with CrystalJae. We're getting started over here. I am just trying to get the YouTube going, and then we'll play the theme song and get our guest up here and do all of the stuff. Are you ready, everybody?
It's a brand new day and she's back again. Get yourself a beverage, let's get settled in. It's Decon Q&A with CrystalJae. Hey, 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 all our favorite heathens gathered in one place. All our questions answered, our favorite creators on display. It's Decon Q&A with CrystalJae. Get ready for the fun. Decon Q&A with CrystalJae.
Hey, you guys, welcome in. Let's get this live shared out. Our guest this morning is Sandra, is Skeptic. I'm really excited to talk to her. I don't know how to share out my own live. Where's the share thing now? Like, I swear, it used to just be right here. Where is it? Flip camera. I don't see it. I don't know how I do this now. Is that it now? Oh, okay. They covered it up. Why cover it up with somebody's face? I didn't even know what it was. I did not know what it was. Getting this shared out to people. You guys, share the live out. There is my guest of honor. Let me get them up here. I'm sorry, my light is in the weirdest place, so it goes right in my eyes. Hey,
hello.
How are you?
Good, good. How are you, Crystal?
I'm doing good. Do you prefer Sandra or Sandra?
Sandra.
Okay, Sandra. Okay. Because I was going to say Sandra, and then my brain just said Sandra, and then I thought, I don't think people call her Sandra.
Some people do, and I don't stress about it. I don't stress about it because I figure it's kind of like aunt and aunt. Some people say aunt.
It is kind of.
Some people say aunt.
Well, I do not know if you've ever watched my show before, and so I always like to tell people how we do the thing here. So I'm going to start by asking you 10 icebreaker questions, and then we're going to invite people to come up and ask you questions. Sometimes they'll come up, sometimes they're shy. I also tell them that they could ask the questions all in caps, and then I'll read them out to you if they're too shy to come up. And then at the end of the show, we're going to play everybody's favorite game, Divine or Decline. Okay? Sound good?
Yes, sounds awesome. I should have studied up. I have watched a couple of your interviews, and I always get tripped up on the divine. So
everybody does. Okay, that's the beauty of the game. Is there are never any true winners of that game. We all lose because they all sound exactly alike. They're all made up bullshit and they sound alike, right? So
right.
All right, so we're going to get started with the icebreaker questions. If you are in chat and you have a question that you would like me to ask Sandra, you can get in the guest box. I'll bring you up as soon as I'm done with my questions, or you can ask your questions in chat. Just put them all in caps, and I will be able to see them better, and you will not get muted, not on this show, okay? All right. If you had to describe your personality as a flavor of ice cream, what would it be and why?
Ooh. My personality is a flavor of ice cream. This is weird because I'm thinking how I see myself versus how other people see me. Like I like mint chocolate chip, and I'd probably say that because it's so good, right? I think maybe because I have sometimes what's called RBF, resting bitch face, so it doesn't always look pleasant initially. And looking at green ice cream with little brown speckles probably doesn't look good, you know. just by visuals, but when you taste it, when you get to know it, it's better than you thought, right? That's
yeah. I have resting bitch face too. See, I
right.
Nothing I can do about it. Sorry, that's just my
it's
face.
Like the brain is working, right? The brain is working, right. So it doesn't always, show up on the.
It relaxes the muscles, and I can't help it that when my muscles are just relaxed, they just don't look very pleasant.
It's just no smile,
right? It's not my fault, man. Can't help it. If I could be a flavor of ice cream, my personality was a flavor of ice cream, I think it would be bubblegum ice cream, because bubblegum ice cream is bright and cheery and sweet, but then you go to bite into the bubble gum and you're like, ow, that's kind of hard. Okay, didn't realize there were some little hard pockets in there, and that's probably me.
That's a good one.
What's the funniest wrong assumption someone has ever made about you?
Funniest wrong assumption?
Yeah.
Huh. That's a hard one. That is a really hard one. I can't. I'm stumped. I don't know.
Okay, I'll tell you my funniest one, because then sometimes when I share mine, the guest goes, okay, wait, I got one. Okay. So the funniest one for me is when we're live and we're on a show and a Christian wants to insult me. So they'll say, shut up, you're like so old. You're like 40. I'm almost 60. And I'm like, that's so awesome. I love it that you assumed I was 20 years younger and that was still old to you somehow. Thank you guys all for being here. Keep tapping the screen, sharing out the live, and doing all the good stuff. Don't forget to do the heart me's and collect your tune points. It really helps boost the live. And don't forget, if you have a question for Sandra, just put it in the chat or request up, and we'll get to you in a minute.
FYI, it being the weekend, the kids are in the background doing background things, so apologies.
That's okay. No problem.
I don't know if this is a funny assumption, but I do hang out with a lot of people in the community, right? The rainbow community, and we have a lot of queer-friendly spaces. So we get a lot of misogynistic, bigoted men coming in, and they're always like, oh, that's why you're single, and that's why nobody wants you, or you're, they come up with all these assumptions. So I represent as one of the heterosexuals, and I'm like, you're fucking wrong. Like, I actually am a straight, unfortunately, but happen to be happily married, and I carry all the same views as my friends. Like, don't think that heteronormative women all want to be subjugated to this Christianity bullshit. Like, you are grossly mistaken. Yeah,
I have had that assumption made about me as well, especially like when I used to co-host with Joyful. They assumed that, or they would say, well, that's why Crystal's single. Like, 30 years, October 7th, by the way. What are you talking about? But yeah, they do make us a lot of assumptions, don't they? If you had to swap lives with any animal for a day, which one would you pick?
Ooh, swap lives with an animal. Oh my god, probably some rich lady's dog. I was gonna say like a bird or something. You can go flying.
Yes.
But like those rich ladies with their pampered dogs. Oh my gosh.
That's
like
good.
In her little purse all day, on her little bed, eating the fanciest foods, being doted on. Any dog in the suburbs.
Yes, for sure. Okay, if I had to switch, it would be with we have 6 cats, not because I'm a cat lady, but because I had a cat and my daughter and her boyfriend moved in and they each had a cat, and then somebody abandoned 3 kittens on my property, and nobody would take them without me signing a paper allowing them to. unalive them. So I couldn't do that. So I took him in. And one of them is a cat named Sputnik. And he is just like a little troublemaker. And I would change lives with him for one day just to see what he's up to. He's always doing something. And I want to see he's just picking on the other cats and being adventurous and stuff. And so I want to see what he's up to.
That's amazing.
What's a song you secretly know all the words to, but would only admit under pressure?
Pressure like now? Huh.
Yes.
Listen.
You guys thank you so much. You guys keep tapping the screen, keep sharing out the live and doing all the good stuff. And make sure that if you want to come up and ask a question, you just put your request in.
I'm trying to think. My taste in music is very eclectic. I like all kinds of songs. I like, hip hop, rap. I like a little bit of rock, now country, and I love anime theme songs as well. Thanks for the gifts, guys. I don't know if there's anything I'm embarrassed to say that I like. I kind of wear my nerd card on my sleeve.
Me too. Me too.
Right? Like I love all kinds of music. Like I love, again, lots of anime theme songs, Disney
Is there
songs.
one do you think people would be like, what? You know all the words to that? Would be a little shocked that you know all the words to it?
What's the song? Oh, I don't know if I know all the words to it, but I love musicals, and one of my favorite musicals as a kid was Oklahoma. So I do kind of know a lot of the songs from the Oklahoma musical. It's been a minute, so I'm a little rusty, but I just
yes, I used to know that.
You're doing fine, Oklahoma, Oklahoma, OKLAHOMA. That might be a surprise.
I think so. I'm a nerd too, and I do wear it on my sleeve, but I love Weird Al Yankovic. Like
yes.
And
love
I
Weird
know
Al.
like almost every song he does, and my favorite is probably Amish Paradise, and I know every word to that song. So,
I love Weird Al. His
awesome.
song White
Thank
and
you,
Nerdy.
Birdie. Right? White and Nerdy is hilarious.
I love that. And then Trapped in the Drive-Thru is another one.
Yes. And look, did you ever see the video with Donny Osmond for White and Nerdy?
Yes, I see.
Okay,
Like,
he kind of dances in it. Like,
yes.
Yes. And
yes.
When they did that, Donny Osmond did that whole video in one take. Weird Al thought they were going to have to do several. And he was like, that was so awesome. We're not doing another take. He is hilarious in that. If laughter really is medicine, what's your go-to comedy prescription? A show, a movie, or a comedian that really, helps you? Hey, Big Bad Wolf.
Who helps me laugh? Honestly,
hey,
being
Birdie
with my
Raiders,
friends.
welcome in.
Birdie Ray, tweet. Being with my friends makes me laugh the most. So what show makes me laugh? Oh my gosh. I feel like all the answers just kind of fall into a void in my brain as I want to think about them. Because I'm more of a, what do I like to watch to laugh?
It can be just that when you guys stream together, because I have to tell you something. I'll be like scrolling around, and every time I scroll by, no matter which one of you is hosting, you guys are in there just cutting it up, and it is just, it's just so fun.
Like honestly, and I be on TikTok so much that I will revisit funny TikTok videos that make me laugh so much. Like there was the Hamilton thing going on where all the girls were like cosplaying as Hamilton, and just one woman did it so funny. Like her eyebrows were crazy, like, and her facial expressions were amazing. Like I find myself going to like stuff like that to just make myself laugh over and over and over again.
That's awesome. I'm gonna bring. Oh, I don't think this is a friendly. Blessed, are you here for the Q&A?
Yes, Mom. Hi.
Hi, are you here to ask Sandra a question? You have too
You
much
say, do
background
I
noise.
have a question?
I'm sorry. You have way too much background noise. And your lag is very significant. I'm sorry. This is a Q&A for Sandra, is Skeptic. If you have a question for Sandra, is a Skeptic, then you can put your request in. Otherwise, it's not just a chat live. We're not here to debate. We're not here for other reasons. We're just here to talk to Sandra today. Get to know Sandra. Yeah, I don't think he does know what's going on. So put your request in. I'll bring you up, but I'm going to ask Sandra a few more questions before we start the other ones. Hey, Fox, how are you today?
I'm doing well. I know that you're awesome, Crystal. You are so awesome, and thank you for doing this. But the question
You're so sweet.
Thank you. But the question I have for Sandra is, first of all, why is your head turned, Sandra? I can't see your face.
Because she's
apologies. My little one is like trying to explain something to me. I apologize, y'all. Give me 1 second.
You're fine. I'll talk with Fox for a minute. Fox, how are you today?
I'm doing well, Crystal. How are you?
Doing good. Have you had a nice weekend?
Yes, I have. Hey, I'm digging the reviews that you do. Because I was looking at you, I was like, yeah, I need those. So I was looking at the headphones and stuff, and I was trying to see which ones for cheap that I can get. So yeah, the headphones ones that you got were like, okay, yeah, I can get those ones.
Yeah, thank you so much. I always think that, you know how believers like to make it out. I don't think they meant to come up. They always act like we're liars, and so I wanted to do honest atheist reviews. They always think we're just really bad people, and it's just not true.
Yeah.
Hey, Quan, how are you?
I'm great, CrystalJae. I have a
I'm
question
bringing genderless back up.
Yeah, that's
okay.
fine.
All right, there we go.
Why is everybody else up here? I got a really serious question for Sandra. I'm glad the rest of you guys are here because this is going to probably hurt your feelings.
Wow.
Listen, I think I have the best question of them all. I don't know what to tell anybody else here, okay?
I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I never know what to expect with you guys, to be honest.
That's
I never know.
Good luck, because I don't know what's wrong with them. I don't know what's wrong with them. See how I just other myself like Christians other themselves from other Christians. I just other myself.
Yes.
Ain't no way out, Foxy. You are in the meat locker as well.
Okay. Mother's work, am I right? Oh my goodness.
You're right. Sandra, I had more questions for you, but the guest box filled up, so I'm letting them take over. So Fox goes first. No. Fox, you have a question for Sandra.
I would like to hear Fun's question first because Fun said that
okay.
Why Fun get to go first?
So, hold on. Let me get to a quiet place. Hold on. I'm in my laundry room. Hold on. Okay. Whew. All right. I just got from the gym. Sandra, let them down easy, okay? You can say this in the nicest way. Who is your favorite bestie? Tell me.
Wait, what happened? Wait.
Wait, you're muted or something. We can't hear you.
You
can't hear? Oh, you can't hear them? That's so weird. There's a connection problem? Oh my goodness. That's wild. Suddenly, you guys, I'm so sorry. Sandra can't hear. Maybe somebody else should try a question.
Oh wait, I'm back.
Okay, it's okay.
Was there another question?
I'm Sandra's twin. I'm Sandra's twin. I know her truth. I know your truth. It's okay. You didn't even have to say it.
Next question. I don't know what happened, you guys. That was so weird, but yeah.
That was
so,
really
yeah,
weird. TikTok glitches sometimes,
They gotta work that. Gotta get that update. My bad, y'all.
I am ready to ask my question whenever
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead, Quan.
I'm gonna be allowed to do so. Sandra, isn't it
Mm-hmm.
true that I am your favorite bestie and you missed me the most when you were in Japan, and that's why you made this image of us having a chat over hot coffee together?
It's funny you should say that. So,
Wait a minute. Did you make a picture for you and Sandra? That is so weird.
No,
I'm gonna put up an
Sandra
actual picture. No, you made that. That's weird. That's so crazy.
did it.
Me and Sandra have a connection because we
Sandra
have what I
too.
call the Cameroonian forehead. The rest of them don't have that. So that pretty much kicks them out of the running, okay?
Oh my gosh. Is there anybody
Sandra,
else in
you gotta
chat
come
who
off
wants
mute.
to come up and claim that they're also Sandra's best friend? There's still spaces for more best friends, you guys.
So here's my question, right? Since I'm not the selfish ones, but they are. I think Sandra is all of our besties and our bestest besties, right? But what I want to say, ask Sandra, is how did you get so awesome? That's what I want to ask you. How did you get so awesome? Now you got to come off mute for that one. How did you get so awesome and like you're so intelligent and so
what are these
freaking
questions?
cool. So I want to know, how did you get so awesome? That's what I want to know.
That's how you know these are my besties with the softballs. I don't even know how to answer that. honestly, you guys have been a good inspiration for like being on TikTok. I was not an atheist before I joined TikTok. I was not. I was, I guess you could say, backsliding. I had issues with the church. I wasn't really feeling the church community. I had all these questions in my head, that just didn't make sense. And then I go on TikTok and I meet all these people validating things that I was already thinking, having feelings that I was already thinking. And I was like, yo, this doesn't make any fucking sense. Like, what? And Bash was one of them. Mama Bash, like sitting in his live and other people's lives and getting to meet you guys and hear all the things that you have to say. Like, I've always been that kind of inquisitive child. Like, I was the nerdy child. I was always in the library. They always had a book in my hand, so I was always reading and shit. Um, and even as a kid, like, one of the funny stories I like to share is, that song, Father Abraham had many sons had Father Abraham. Every time we would sing that song, I was like, Abraham Lincoln has something to do with, what does Abraham Lincoln have to do? Like, I was always so confused. I was like, this doesn't make sense to me. Like, so just as a child, I just, trying to put the pieces together. But yeah, just having that inquisitive mind. I always wanted to stay curious. Always wanted to stay, open-minded to new information and not taking myself too seriously. I do like to be goofy. I do like to crack a lot of jokes because, I mean, life is too short, right?
And then my last question is, how did you get into anime?
I got into anime because of my cousins. So I lived with my aunt for a little bit, my aunt and uncle, my two cousins, and well, at the time I didn't realize that like Sailor Moon and Dragon Ball Z were like anime. Those were just cartoons on TV that I would watch. But he made us watch Ninja Scroll. And if any of my anime heads know Ninja Scroll, that was like the first time I realized, yeah, that was the first time I realized that animation could be so hardcore. Like, and by hardcore, I mean there was like a grape scene, you guys. I was like, the fuck? Like,
oh, wow.
Yeah, crazy.
I'm glad you asked that question, Fox. Can you give us 2 solid reasons you don't like One Piece that have nothing to do with the drawing, Sandra?
You already know why. Okay, listen, sidebar. I just had my live. I like to go live on Sundays on my second page and talk anime and stuff. And with today was an exception. But usually every time I go live, somebody's up there glazing One Piece, and I've made it clear that I am not really big on One Piece, and I told Fun why. I'm a visual person. I like beautiful animation, and Luffy is ugly. Okay, doesn't look good.
Poor
I'm
Luffy.
really,
He's got
I'm
the sweetest
intimidated.
heart. You're supposed to be the nice one of us.
I'm nice. What are you
Oh,
talking about?
sorry, my bad. That's Fox. But you're next to Fox, kind of, sort of, maybe a little bit more diabolical to Fox, but just a small bit.
Everyone thinks
But
I'm
you know what
nicer
I mean.
than I actually am. Listen, to be honest, I watched like the first 6 episodes and it wasn't grasping me. I'll try again. I will try the live action because maybe if I like the live action, it might encourage me to go watch the animated one. But there's 1,000 episodes.
He's not ugly in the live action, to be honest. He's actually not bad looking in the live action. So you might like it.
There we go. I might do it. I don't know. I might do it.
I have another question for Sandra. Now, this is my real question.
Okay.
So,
All right.
this is my real question. Sandra, I've noticed that you are also a lover of language. How many languages do you speak and at what level? And why do you want to learn so many languages, Sandra?
Oh my god. I only speak one fluently, which is English, but I also know a little bit of Spanish. I know a little Japanese, and I know a little Haitian Creole, thanks to you guys. Um, so yeah, I'm becoming like an accidental polyglot, I guess. The reason why I know a little Spanish and why I'm trying to pursue more is because my family's Panamanian. But I didn't grow up speaking Spanish as a kid. My mom tried. I wasn't really into it at the time, and it's kind of like a little secret shame of mine that I don't speak Spanish because anytime we would be at family gatherings, that's always like, why didn't you speak? Why don't they speak? Why don't it's like I don't know. I'm a first generation immigrant. You come to the country, you assimilate. I don't know. So I learned Spanish out of a sense of obligation. Not that that is not a great language to learn, but it felt like a sense of obligation for me to learn Spanish. And then Japanese because I'm a nerd. It's total otaku. I love anime. I love Japan. I was just in Japan not that long ago. It would be I always thought it'd be a fun language to learn that I've been trying for forever. And then Creole, because the lovely Quan up there and Fun and Fox was like, let's learn a language, and they picked Creole. So I said, sure, just throw that in the mix. Why don't you? Yeah, yeah. But that's essentially it.
Genderless, did you have a question you wanted to ask other than who's Sandra's favorite?
Yeah. Yeah, sure. Would you say that the people of your generation, and I've gone back and forth with my friend about this who is Mexican, and her grandma used to teach us, who incidentally taught me Spanish just because she always spoke it. My friend seemed to also have this withdrawal from learning the language. Would you say the pressure of assimilation came from school?
Um, that's a good question. It may be in like a subconscious way. So I moved around a lot as a kid, right? So, I spent a lot of my childhood in Virginia, and we lived in a neighborhood. There was not a lot of other Panamanian people. There's not a lot of Spanish speaking people. So as a kid, everyone around me speaking English. So why is my mom up here trying to teach me this different language? Like it just didn't make sense to me. So maybe on a subconscious level, it just didn't make sense. And also, I do remember, I just had a memory. Kids also used to make fun of my mom because she has an accent, but they thought she had a Jamaican accent for some reason because again, people don't get out in the world and know that other ethnicities of black people exist. So there might have been a little bit of a stigma and shame too that I didn't realize at the time. Being different and having families that's different, and my mom is different from everybody else. That could have been a little bit of it too.
My son's father was born in Mexico City, and so we spoke Spanish and English in the home to him. But when we divorced and I would speak Spanish to my son, he would be like, no, He was like very young too. He would be like 2. So he was like, no, why are you doing that? I was like, what do you mean? Why am I doing that? I speak Spanish too. And he's like, no, no. Mm-mm. And I said, but your dad speaks Spanish and English. And he said, yeah, that's okay. But no, so he wouldn't speak Spanish with me after that. I don't know why, but he was like, not from you. You just know, don't do that. But now he has a little one and they are teaching her Spanish. And that makes me happy. I think it's a lot easier for, when you do it as children, but it's a lot easier for them to learn both languages.
Oh yeah, when they're like little sponges, they soak it up so
Yeah.
easily. Definitely.
Yeah. All right. Birdie, you're next. Did you have a question for Sandra?
Yes, Sandra, I wanted to know on your trip to Japan, what structure or maybe restaurant or like something that you saw there that like just really stuck out to you in a way of comparing what we have here. You know what I'm trying to say? Like
the architecture and stuff.
yes, yes.
Well, yeah. I mean, I took a lot of pictures of some of their buildings. Like they have some really cool architecture there. But the thing that really stuck out to me, like they have no trash cans. There are no trash cans on the streets. Which keeps it like super clean. Yeah, it's super clean, right? You just have to carry your trash with you, and in their alleyways, instead of it being like lots of garbage, there'd be a bunch of vending machines. Just vending machines for everything. Or like little. I spent most of my time in Tokyo. Like I didn't get to go to like the more rural areas. My kids are fighting. Um, so I would see like just like little cool alleyways and little skinny apartment buildings. There's this one bar that the whole side was like it looked like a bunch of lanterns stacked on top of each other. It's all on my second page, y'all. It's like super cool. But yeah, I just like how Tokyo's definitely a clean city. It's not like spotless, but it's definitely super clean and super efficient with how they have everything. Even when you do see receptacles, like for bottles, they'll design it in a way that has a hood so you can only stick a bottle in there and like nothing else. They're super efficient. Super efficient over there. And of course the
It's
temples
awesome.
and shrines too.
I have to get over to your page and check out the pictures. That's all I had. I'm going to hop down in case somebody else wants to come up.
Thank you, Birdie.
Birdie, thank you for being here. We appreciate you so much. Hey, Heat Wade, how are you?
Me too. I'm gonna hop down as Sandra's bestest bestie, who she made this cartoon for, and let somebody else have a chance. Thank you.
Okay, Quan, thank you so much. Always good to see you, Quan.
Just for the record, I did make that image for Quan. I don't want y'all thinking Quan up here lying on y'all. I actually did make that.
Heat Wade, are you with us? Can you hear me? You're muted if you don't know it. I can send you an invite to unmute. I don't know if you stepped away for a minute. Genderless, did you have another question for Sandra? Okay, Mother of Prep, you're up.
Yay! I didn't know what I would initially because I joined Sandra's lives a lot or listened to her live, so I'm like, I feel like I know Sandra. But oh my
And you know
goodness,
what, Mother of Prep, I heard you last night on a Christian's live, and you were amazing. I
oh
just wanted to tell you.
oh gosh, that was thank you.
You did great. I
Yes,
don't know how you did it, but you did great.
yeah, I had to get out of there, but thank you. But no, I'm so glad that I caught this just in time because I didn't know that about Sandra that you weren't deconstruct or an atheist yet um, in TikTok, and I'd like to hear a little more about that journey. I could relate to, having others kind of like echoing some of the things that you thought like, oh wow, and it makes you feel like, yeah, like I'm not the crazy one. Like, but I wonder like how close were you when you were on TikTok and that stuff resonated? Like, were you still going to church? Were you the
No,
only
so
one in your life? Go ahead.
yeah. So I was my most devout in college. You know how we have all those like gung ho 19-year-olds who want to come
Oh,
up and
like the
talk about
campus
religion.
ministry?
Yeah, because they got saved 2 weeks ago or whatever. Like I was definitely my most because I went to church as a kid, but it was just kind of like more social thing, like just a thing you do. But as far as like really taking it seriously, it was my sophomore year in college. I met my friends, we're all hanging out, and a lot of them had joined the gospel choir freshman year, but I didn't join because like I can't sing. What am I doing on the choir? But they're like, no, 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 you don't have to sing. It's just for fun. It's not that serious. So I joined. We're singing songs. We're having performances. We would have like little prayer and worship sessions with each other. We would do, then I started going to church on campus and stuff. Like that's when I was like the most devout, like. And then I went home to my mom. I was like, Mom, I want to find a church. Can we find a church? So we ended up going to Brooklyn Tabernacle. It's one of those mega churches
Hmm.
um, in Brooklyn. But it was like, because it's so big, you can't really, it's hard to really form community there per se, because you're
Right.
just like one of the many people in the crowd. But that was just my thing, like going to that for a while. But after a couple of years of like little personal dramas and shit, I went to the church, one of the church like counselors seeking advice, and I just found her to not be very helpful at all. Like it just felt very, kind of dismissive, and just she
Hmm.
just was not giving me what I needed. But I didn't like deconstruct. I was just like, okay, well maybe church isn't for me. I don't really like, I can't really rock with church. But I still love God, still still believe in Him, blah blah blah. But wasn't actively a Christian. And then I remember in 2015, I believe, is when gay marriage became legal.
Hmm.
And I remember, it's like a big thing. Like, oh my gosh, gay people can get married. And a friend of mine, she was like the most Christian. We used to make fun of her because she was the kind of Christian that couldn't uh know secular music. Like I heard Mama Bash was
Right.
talking about this earlier. Like she grew up not knowing anything except Brian McKnight outside of choirs and stuff. So we were like, get on her, but she was like the churchiest of all of us. And she posted something on Facebook about it, and it just kind of sparked this conversation between us, because I was just like, why is this an issue? Why does God care about this? And we would have these paragraphs back and forth on the Facebook posts, like, or her trying to explain why it is, or why she thinks uh homosexuality is seen the way it is. And I also left that conversation unfulfilled. Like, just like none of your answers are making sense. Like, she brought up, was it Ruth or Sarah, one of them, who couldn't have a kid for like forever,
Right.
because I asked, I was like, is this just about procreation? Like, why does he care? And she brought up Sarah, but I'm like, okay, but then she did have a kid eventually. So is it about procreation? Like, again, nothing made sense. One of her friends tried to chime in and say, use an analogy of, well, there was a sign at the gas station saying you can't smoke, or you can't have your key turned on. And I never understood why until I found out it can cause an explosion. And I'm like, okay, so then you found out why. You got an answer. Like, again, unfulfilled, not making any sense. I kept moving on with my life. But just thoughts and questions about the religions, it just wasn't really jiving with me. And I kept thinking it was the people. Oh, the people don't make
Mhm.
sense. This, I don't get it. Um, but a breaking point for me was during January 6th, when they were storming the Capitol. I was in the hospital with my son. He had maybe his second hip surgery. So I'm in a hospital with him. I got the TV on, and I'm watching this happen, this siege or whatever. And I'm being told that they got crosses out there, and they're kneeling and they're praying and all this other kind of stuff. And I'm like, ain't no way I believe in the same God that these people do. Like, ain't no way I worship the same God as these people, and they are up here trying to do a fucking why am I blanking on the word? Uh,
Insurrection.
Insurrection. Thank you.
Yeah.
I was like, ain't no way I believe in the same thing. You know,
Right.
so between having those thoughts and then again being on TikTok and having other people say out loud the questions that I had in my head, I was like, yo, this don't
Mhm.
make sense. What? The Bible's about this? And then I want to say it was on Bash's live. He read King Leopold's letter to the missionaries, like just little things like that. Like the chips just kept falling in place. Like, yo, I don't think I believe this anymore. I don't think I rock with this. Yeah, it was a long time in the making, but yeah, it definitely happened over the course of the past 5 years that I've come to the point that I'm at right now.
So you've seen that, like with people, like, how people behave terribly, or how it's not like settling with you. Did you see anything in the Bible that made you start questioning at this time, or was it more so like how people acted in public and performed Christianity?
It was definitely the people that turned me off. I
Hmm.
didn't learn more about the Bible until I was sitting in on these different conversations and
Right.
people would bring up all the various stories, or like I would look at it with a new lens because I already knew about the story of Job. I knew about David and Bathsheba. I didn't know so much about the baby, because again, you go to church, they give you like the highlights
Yeah,
of,
they don't tell you
they
those
cherry
stories.
pick. Right.
Yeah.
So it wasn't until sitting here that I actually learned more in depth about like about the slavery. I didn't know about that. I didn't know about Leviticus 25 or about the eating of babies, God
Mhm.
making people eat their children, like none of that stuff. So that knowledge came after the fact. So, but it was the people that turned me off initially. Like Christians turned me off of Christianity, and then I got into the book, and I was like, yo, this doesn't make any sense. Like I didn't even realize there was two different creation stories, and that they were out of
Mhm.
sync. You know.
That helps, I think. You seeing it acted out in people behaving badly, and then from there also learning about the bad stories in the Bible. I wonder if that helped you see it more clearly. Whereas if a Christian is just reading the Bible and comes across those things before tying Christianity to bad behavior, maybe there'll be more like apologetics applied, where you try to make excuses for what you read. But I wonder if that plays a part for you, like where since you heard about it while you were already kind of in that mind that this Christianity seems a little off, and then you're hearing
Hmm.
those stories, did that make it easier for you to accept the story at face value?
I think so, because I remember in one of my Bibles, I was trying to do the whole thing where you like read the entire Bible from front to back, and I even had like a little piece of cloth. I forget what the significance was of this cloth, but I used it as a bookmark. And somewhere I gave up. I wasn't even halfway through because it's such a dog of a read to get through that Bible. I don't know if it was the genealogy or what, but I definitely saw I was at a part where I skipped a lot of the shit that didn't make sense because I'm not looking at it with a critical eye. So if I had not been turned off by the actions of Christianity, if it wasn't like a little bit of the politics that didn't, that's tied with it that didn't turn me off, I probably would have glossed over it like so many others. I
Mhm.
definitely would have.
I could relate so much to your story in that. But I did want to ask you a little more about your background with your mom. So your mom and dad were born in Panama?
Yeah, both my parents are Panamanian. They were born in Panama. My mom's from Cologne. My dad is from Rainbow City. But they met here in the States because they came
Mhm.
at different times. And they met here in the US. It's so funny, like a little bit of tea, you guys. You know that show 90 Day Fiance?
Uh-oh.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. My mom was one of those, but like it didn't work out with her actual, like the dude that she was gonna marry. Like this is some tea. Like he let his mom
Wait, he
talk
was
him out of
American?
marrying her. So no, no, no. The guy was, I think he was also Panamanian, but he was in
Okay.
the army. He was
Oh,
he was in the army. So my mom came up here to be with this dude. It didn't work out. She goes over to Virginia to stay with my aunt who was already here and decides to go to some party and met my dad at this party. He had just had a divorce. I learned this years later. I thought my mom was his first wife. She was not his first wife. She was his second wife. Uh, he had divorced the wife, but was living in uh, the barracks for families or for married soldiers, but he wasn't married anymore. So he was like, shit, I need a wife. And she's like, shit, I need a husband. So they got together.
Worked out.
It worked out. Oh my gosh, it was so funny. But yeah, but they both just happened to be Panamanian.
Oh wow, that's and
Hmm.
like how was their like religious influence with you growing up? Because it seemed like from your story that you got more into it in college. Like, would you say that
Yeah.
they were like not that religious?
So, well, they divorced when I was 2. So my dad, I don't think he's ever super religious, but he didn't really play a big part of that. And my mom, being a single mom, it would be one of two things. It would be her like sending me to church with like a neighbor and their kid because she was like
Mm.
had to sleep or go to work or whatever. So she wasn't always with me when I went to church. Or like during the summers, I would always go to my aunt's house, so I would go to their church there. We'd be with my aunt and uncle and my cousins, going to church with them. My mom was like, she's kind of like the party girl of the family. Like it was her, there's my aunt, my uncle, and my mom. She was the youngest, and she's kind of like the wild child of the bunch. Like always going out, always clubbing, always hanging out with her friends. She had this deal with my grandmother when miniskirts first came out. My grandmother's idea of a miniskirt apparently was just 3 fingers above the knee. My mom was like, "Not rocking with that." Right. And so they had a deal. I was like, well, if you want to wear it, you got to make it yourself. And that's how my mom became a seamstress. She learned to make her own clothes and she would wear all the little sexy little, like, even as, like, so my mom, they're in Panama. It's a hot tropical climate. So you're not going to wear a lot of
Right.
clothes anyway. But they, she would wear all the little, she would call them hoochie mama outfits. She would wear all that stuff, So she was not like the
The
pristine little
purity
church girl that,
culture. Yeah.
not like my aunt was like the goody two shoes, would always go to church, would always do all the things that grandma wanted to do. And my mom was like the more, again, the wild one, going to clubs and stuff. But she is still very devout and everything is put it in prayers, put it in prayers. God's
Wow.
got it. You know what I mean? Even though she's not, she was going to church with me when we went to Brooklyn Tabernacle and even joined their like tape ministry. People would give out like recordings of the sermon. She used to like
Mhm.
do that. But then once I moved, she stopped going too. you know. So she was like, yeah. So she's not one of those like in church every day or but still very religious. Still God is in everything, kind of Christian. If that makes sense.
Like it's just kind of in the background. It exists, but she's not doing the whole performance or the
Yeah,
or I
she's
don't
not
know.
like she's not like studying her Bible or anything like that, but she'll like have prayer jars and stuff like that, or Bible verse bags and Bible verse this, or she'll send me the memes with Bible verses and shit on it, like
Does she
like
know
that.
that you're an atheist?
She does not. No one in my family outside of these 4 walls knows that I'm an atheist. Although, funny story, they might know. My mom's birthday's coming up, and I had a group chat to plan out this cruise that we're doing for her.
Mhm.
She's on it. Her best friends, all these little old ladies are on this group chat. Um, my husband is not on TikTok. I'm always asking him, "Hey, get on TikTok." Oh, I made this video. I made that video. The last like 3 recent videos that I had made a couple weeks ago, I wanted him to see, so I put them in a chat to send to him. And then, like maybe a couple of days later, one of my mom's friends asked a question about the cruise. I go into the group chat and I see my TikToks, and I'm like, why are my videos
Oh shoot!
in this chat?
You accidentally sent it on the group text instead of
I sent it to the. Here's the
Oh
no.
thing,
my
though.
gosh.
Here, but here's the thing. No one has said anything about it, and Quan and them are convinced that they already are talking about it in a separate group chat, and when we get on this cruise, there might be an intervention. I don't know.
Oh my God.
Oh
How serious? Was it one of your videos?
It was one of my videos. I
That,
sent a clip of I went on Thinkers Live. I had been on Thinkers
oh,
Live earlier, so I clipped my conversation with her, and then I clipped like a piece of what I said. It wasn't anything too crazy, but I don't know. So I honestly, it's like to be determined if they really know, because no one has said
how
anything.
long has it
that
been?
is funny.
It's been a couple weeks.
Oh, okay. Oh wow. That is your husband also an atheist?
I don't know, actually. I remember when I kind of came out to him, when I told him, I was nervous at first to be like, yo, I don't think I believe in this anymore. I don't think any of this is true. And he was like, yeah, I don't really take it that seriously either. He was just kind of like, yeah, but he hasn't actually said he's an atheist
Hmm.
per se. I just think he just doesn't take it that seriously, but I don't honestly know. Like, if anything, maybe he's agnostic, or maybe he's just, again, just doesn't take it seriously, but maybe thinks there's something out there. We don't really talk
So
about
you,
religion too much.
so your like relationship wasn't like about you guys going to church and stuff. Like,
No, like I do remember, cause we've been together for a long time. So when I was super devout, the a sense of conflict for me would always be, the premarital
right, yep.
relations. You know what I mean?
I
And there would
know.
always be a source, so one source of tension would be like Saturday, and then
Mhm.
Sunday we getting ready for church, and he's still in a flirty mood. I'm like, what are you doing? We gotta be in, like I'd always pick
You
on
got to
him because it's
feel
like we gotta
bad
be in
about
church
doing it on
mode.
Sunday.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So, but when I stopped going, he stopped going too. So
Wow.
just because I feel like for him it was like a more ritualistic thing. Like he used to
Right.
say his prayers. He would repeat um Psalms 121 over and over again. But I think it's only because his is aligned with his birthday. Like I don't think he really took the words seriously, and I don't know if he still prays now or not, honestly. So,
But
but
obviously you
it
got
was
a big
something that I
heart.
was nervous. Yeah, no, it was never like a huge part of our relationship.
That's
We
awesome.
bonded on nerd stuff. We're both
That is
nerds.
great. I think, when you build a foundation outside of that, then, the relationship is going to be stronger. So
I
you,
agree.
yeah, I'm happy for you, with that. And, thank you for sharing all of that. It was fun getting to know this about you.
Thank you. I appreciate you so much. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Mother Prep. Hey, Heat Wade, are you back? We did try to get to you, but you didn't come off mute. And then I saw you in chat say you got skipped over, but we're not trying to skip you. You just don't seem to be by your phone when we're ready
No,
for you.
he way got that Cali connection sometimes, so you know.
Oh, okay.
Much, not too much. Yeah. No,
Did
I'm
you have
feeling. I tried to
questions?
come in. Yeah, yeah. Birdie kind of stole my question. I had a question more so about your trip to Japan, because I know you recently went on a trip to Japan, and like what was the highlight of the entire trip? Like, what was the thing that really like stuck with you, that was just like, oh my gosh, this was just a wonderful experience? And also, what is something that you wish you could have done more of while you were in Japan?
Oh man. Well, the thing that I wish I could have done more of, like I said, I wish I had more time because I really would have loved to seen other parts of Japan. Because Tokyo, even though it's very different from New York, a lot of parts really made me feel homesick for New York. Like Akihabara felt a little bit like Times Square at some parts, being on the subway. Like that all felt really good, but it also felt kind of familiar. So I kind of wish I had time to go out into the countryside and see more of their nature, more of the shrines that are out there. I wish I would have done an onsen out there, like in nature. I definitely want to try that next time I go to Japan. One thing that I like, this is kind of like I enjoyed it, but it also kind of, I don't know how to explain it because I don't want it to seem like it was a bad thing. But I did go to an onsen when I was in Tokyo. And as, if you guys don't know, an onsen is basically a public bath where you're like totally nude and it's like pools and showers and steam rooms and all other kind of stuff. And it was really cool. I wanted to try it because it would definitely bring me out of my comfort zone, you know, and to do something that's very specific to like Japanese culture or the culture that have like bathhouses and stuff. But I was on this trip by myself, you know, which didn't really stick out to me until I did that. Like, it's one thing to be alone in a city exploring. It's another thing to be naked and alone in a bathhouse with a bunch of Japanese people. You know, I was just like, dang, I really am by myself right now. Um, but oh, the jets were amazing. It was still an amazing experience though. Like, it's something that I'm glad I felt bold enough to do. You know, um, but I definitely would want to try to do that, like again, outside in like nature or the rocks and the little waterfalls and stuff. I think that would be super cool.
Did you have the opportunity to get on the a bullet train?
I did not the Shinkansen only because I didn't know where I wanted to go on a bullet train. Like if I had gone to like a further place, I would have done so. But like I said, I mainly because I only had less than a week. I had like technically like 4 full days while I was there. So I mainly focused my time on the different neighborhoods in Tokyo. So I was on the train, like I was on the subway, and I even took the bus a few times. But I mostly just yeah, I mostly stayed there. I didn't get to do a bullet train. Definitely would
Nice,
like to do one next time.
nice. Okay. And let's just the last question. As a honorary bestie on the anime side, anime bestie. Okay.
My
Um,
anime brother.
yes. What would be an anime for people who possibly want to start watching or try to get into it? Because you know, like right now, anime is kind of a fad right now for a lot of people. For people trying to get into it, what would be an
Mhm.
anime that you would recommend to people to start to watch?
Well, I always tell people to think about what genres do they like in general, you know? Because, like, if you like action, then yeah, there's definitely a lot of cool action when, like, obviously just Naruto and Demon Slayer and stuff like that. Like, if you like romance, you know what I mean? There's anime for the romance genre. If you like mysteries, like, I would first have them pick what genre they like and go from there. Like I really love, I mean, you know, Samurai Champloo is one of my favorite animes because it's a little bit of fighting, it's a little bit of action, it's a period piece. The soundtrack is awesome. You know, I also love the animation style. So and it's not very long. I definitely would recommend one of those like 25 or less episodes because motherfuckers trying to put 1,000 episode seasons on you and make you look bad because you don't want to slog through all of that. Um, but yeah, Inuyasha is a good one too. But I'm biased, you know. That's another thing. It's totally subjective. If you like historical pieces, if you like adventure, you like a little bit of romance, you like a little bit of action. That's a long one, but that's a good one too. Cowboy Bebop is a good one. You know, you got a couple of ones you like to recommend to Heat Wave, your period pieces and historical ones. But yeah, I would say first start with pick a genre and then you can go from there.
Okay, nice. Thank you. I appreciate you for answering the questions, and thank you to Crystal J for letting me up.
Oh, thank you for being here, Heat Wade. I appreciate you so much. Good
Oh
morning,
yeah.
Grandma Zana. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
Doing well. Did you have a question or two for Sandra this morning?
I do. I'm interested to know why you chose the TikTok name because a lot of TikTok names are like Jesus done, deconstruction forever. And then yours is Sandra is a skeptic.
Oh, that's so funny. Well, I actually just recently changed my name. My original name on TikTok was Sandra is bored because that's literally why I opened TikTok. It was
I love it.
pandemic, nothing to do. So I was like, oh, let me just see what this TikTok is about. But then as I started going into more and more spaces, everyone had the same joke. Oh, Sandra, you're bored. Oh, why are you so bored, Sandra? Ha ha ha. And I'm like, it's cool. It's just so then my name, right? So then my name became Sandra is bored but unbothered. I'm like, I'm chilling. It's fine. That was my name for the
I remember
longest
that.
time.
Yeah, I do
Right.
remember that.
But I recently changed that one because I had my second page and that was called Sandra's a Skeptic. But then that became all about Japan and Japanese. I was like, that doesn't fit. And me being bored and unbothered, I was like, I'm definitely not bored anymore. I'll be on TikTok all the time doing everything. And I can't really say I'm unbothered because of all the craziness that's happening right now. So I was like, it's not true anymore. I'm not bored and I am bothered by so much right now. And I like to think of myself as a skeptic, as someone who's always questioning things, always wanting to learn more. So I just switched it around. Sandra's a skeptic now.
Well, I like it because it's very leads to people feeling open to share. Although I'm sure that can lead to weird stuff too, but
Right, right. But yeah, it was just a very kind of practical name change, just because I'm trying to. It sounds cringy to say, "Oh, I want to grow my platform and all that other kind of stuff," but I really am trying to streamline my platforms and kind of silo where my content goes. So it just made sense for the name for this page to be Skeptic because I talk about religion, and then the other one, like I said, that's my hobby page.
cool. I like it. Well, that was my
I do too.
question, but boy, people have had good questions today. I'm like, mine seems so small.
No, I
And your best
appreciate
friends
it.
are awesome. Your best friends
They
I
are
love my
are.
awesome. I
besties.
loved that argument so much. That was just the best.
Thank you so much.
Well, you can
Have a
hang
good day.
out, Mother Prep. You guys can hang out up here in case you have more questions later. If you have a question and you're on TikTok, you can jump in the box. The guest box is open. Or if you don't have a good microphone, you're too shy to come up, you can put your question in all caps and I'll be happy to read those out to Sandra. You guys, thank you so much for 30,000 likes and all the gifts and shares and everything. If you can just keep that up, I love to reach 100,000 by the end of my lives. And I just really appreciate you guys all being here. Sandra, I have more
All right,
questions
just
for you though.
I'm going to drop down just so you know. But thank you
Okay.
guys so much. I'll keep listening.
All right. Thank you, Greta, for being here. I don't know if you're ready for another question or not yet. You let me know when you're ready.
Great.
Give me 2 minutes. So I am
Okay.
with my kid. I'm going to give him his feed. I got to get his feed
Okay.
started. But I'm
Okay.
here.
All right. I will talk with Mother of Prep again. So how did you end
Yeah.
up on that show last night?
Oh my gosh. Well, so the question was, what made you leave the church? And so, it
Mm-hmm.
seemed like, okay, this is someone who's wanting to engage. And I saw this person on a previous live that was an atheist live, and we
Mm-hmm.
concluded that she was deconstructing. And so I was like, okay, this might be a okay space, but oh my goodness. Shortly learned that okay, this person clearly isn't deconstructing. Like maybe she was just on atheist lives to get intel and like see what kind of talking points she could come up with for
Yeah.
her own lives. Like, because all of a sudden she's the talk show expert. I'm like,
Oh yes.
oh, you came on here for content, and now you have it, and now you're ready to do your own lives, and pose as someone who's like listening to an atheist, seeming like you're being open-minded, but clearly,
It's
you have
it
all
seemed
these rebuttals.
it seems so ridiculous that right after you finished telling your whole story, that she was just basically, yeah, but I just think you really just have to have faith.
And I just
What?
specifically said faith is not reliable. Like if it comes
It's not
down to me faking it, then that is not what I desire. Like I'm not someone who
right.
needs to be fake with myself. Like, and she was like, well, it
No, it
helped
was
me
so
get through. Yeah. I'm like, I've
Yeah.
been through real struggles and have done it with my own reasoning and logic and not without pretending a relationship. And she's like, yeah, but that's really what it is. You have to pretend. And I'm like, you're creating conditions based on nothing. You're just saying you have to pretend or you have to have faith. Like, no one has to have, like, the things that we have them. We have to breathe,
Yeah.
and therefore we have lungs. So there's nothing we have to do in order to make that happen. It just happens naturally.
Right.
So it's like I'm
Right.
not going to create conditions and then have to do all the work to make it happen and pretend with myself.
Yeah, I think that it's funny that I believe in goals, okay? That's what I believe in. I believe
Mhm.
you set a goal, you make a plan to reach that goal, okay? And then you
Mhm.
do the steps that you wrote down to reach that goal. I believe in that.
Right.
I don't believe in magical manifesting. I do not believe I can sit here and go, I want all the money to come to me and I want to be viral on TikTok. And then I do nothing to reach what I just said. Okay. I don't believe in that. Like, and
Right.
I'm sorry, but you can't just go, okay, I'm going to believe there's a God today and now there is one. Like, it's just the same thing. You
Right.
can't do that. Like, it doesn't work that way. Your brain is not that magical. Okay. Brains are powerful, can do lots of things, but cannot make things be real that are not real, or whatever, or make you manifest shit without you actually doing any
Right.
work to get it done. So,
And if you
anyway,
have to
back
do
to
all that, it's
Sandra.
not real. Yeah.
Right? Right? Sandra, was there anything in your deconstruction process that made you hang on for a little bit when you probably should have just let go? Like, I think for me, like, I kind of hung on to like hell for a minute. Like, I was just like, I don't want me and I don't want all my kids and stuff because obviously if I don't believe anymore, I'm telling my kids, right? I'm not gonna lie
Hmm.
to them and tell them I believe still or whatever. Hey, Slice. So was there anything you held on to like that for a little bit?
No, the fear of hell was definitely something that I had to get over. Like, I don't know if I held on to it or I guess there was like a little inkling, like, oh well, what if you're wrong? Like what if God is really
Yeah.
real? But um, it didn't really last very long because again, being here and having conversations with other people and being able to think logically, a lot of people will say, well, what was your existence before you were born? you know like
Right.
there was nothing. You didn't know nothing. You were aware of nothing. So why would it be any different, when you're gone? And while I don't fear hell anymore, I mean, death itself is still sad and it's
Yeah.
still a little scary in just the sense that, even knowing that there'll be nothing, it's like, okay, nothing as in no more experiences, no more time with your family, no more time with your friends, no more
Yeah.
time to do all the things you want to do. So there's still that sadness, which I think obviously is healthy and natural. But yeah, the fear of hell lingered, but it's not as much of an issue as it used to be.
Yeah, I think that's very similar for me. Like, I, to be honest, like, I don't think